All right, welcome to Simsation. Hello to all the guys and gals out there that tune in to this one. I'm trying to get my camera working. Imagine that, right? My camera's working. I can see it over there and it's lit up and working, but I can't get it to show up on OBS again. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, so I'm going to try to add it again, see if it picks it up. It seems like I have to fight this every time, and it really just aggravates me. Okay, so I re-add it and look at that, it still don't come up. Yeah, it happens all the time, and I'm not real sure why it's doing it. I mean, I use the same OBS and I have the same setup, and it says device not available, so that's the right screen. At least we can get the capture card to work. So I'll pull that up in a second. It might be blacked out now, but the display capture should pull up there. There we go. So I'll switch over to the capture card, and maybe we'll get to work on, maybe we'll get to see exactly what I'm working on over here. Well, I got to hide the first project because that's a regular video. But once I get that out of the way, then you can start getting a sense of what I'm working on after that. So I'll catch you guys up on the PC stuff. I would really like to figure out this camera, though. It's not the first time I've fought this problem. And the webcam is working because I can see it over there. So I have the webcam on and working. I can click on it and it shows that it's working as a webcam, which if it's working as a webcam, then it should be showing up. So I'm going to take it off the tripod and pull it over there. I will warn you, I'm on the long USB cable again. So I am on the long one. Let's see what I can do. And I have a racing rig set up where I normally have the editing rig and desk. So that's probably not helping matters any. I'm going to go to preview. That's the other thing. Maybe it's the software for this camera, because I couldn't even go to preview mode and it still shows it's working as a webcam, but it's not showing up on here. So I don't know what that software is called, but I'm going to try to find it real quick. Maybe it's simple. Maybe it's GoPro webcam. Could it be that simple? It still won't let me show the preview. The preview is blacked out on my GoPro. Try reconnecting your camera. So maybe we'll try that. That's weird. When I unplugged it, it showed us that too. I'm going to try taking the battery out of it. Might be the battery that's doing it, because it was stuck in webcam mode, so it might be the camera. Hold on just a second, we'll see. All right. There's the preview mode. So maybe, just maybe, we get a camera out of this thing. Oh, something happened. Come disconnected. I'll put you guys on the other page until we get to what we're working on. We'll try powering off and powering back on one more time. It goes right to camera mode. I honestly think this has more to do with my GoPro than anything else. And I apologize for the technical difficulties. I've been busy as heck, so I didn't have time. I'm going to look for my other cable too. I don't know where I put it at. But I'll look for that to see if we can get it to fire off with the other cable. And then maybe I can get the live stream going like I planned on doing. But other than that, you can chat it up. Let me know how you guys are doing on this beautiful Thursday evening. And I'll try to find my other cable. I've got things all... I have things in places in here that they shouldn't be. And it's just, it's a mess. And I can't get my other cable because it's conveniently running the Turtle Beach wheel on the race rig. So we might go full capture card mode. The things I get into. Come on, baby, pick up. Workforce. All it's got to do is workforce, right? I'll go back up to preview mode. When I tested it the other day, it worked fine. So I tested it before I tore all this stuff down, and it worked perfect. And then is the minute you go to stream, it all goes to crap. I'm going to exit out of the streaming software again. Well, now that just locked up completely. And that might be the problem. It may just be the software for the GoPro that's doing it. You're going to see a blackout because I opened up the task manager. And I am going to shut it down. It's still stuck on my screen. Wow. That software's junk is what it is. I know exactly what it is. We're going to move on. I'm going to get rid of the GoPro image there real fast if I can. Well, we don't want that to show. We'll go to the... change it from there to there. Well, that's not working right. My goodness. I'm not going to cancel the live stream over this. I'm going to fix it. This thing is just killing a guy. All right, we reopen the software again. We turn the camera on, it goes straight to USB connected. Everything opens up like it's supposed to. I click on preview, I get the box. Uh-oh, we got it. Now we'll see if OBS picks it up. I got it working on the preview now. Where did it go? I had it working on the preview, it disappeared, and the camera shut itself off. Help me understand. And then it reconnected, so we're going to try it again. I think it might be a software issue, because when I open it up, it keeps closing itself. And now the preview is blacked out. You can't make it up. I had it working for 22 seconds. Now the camera's stuck on. I think the camera glitched out. I think I need a new GoPro. That's probably what it is. I have been using it for recording today and yesterday. I've been using it a lot lately. So that might have something to do with it. Let's see if my preview picks. No, when it comes on, it goes right back off again. All right, we're going on with the stream. I'm getting tired of messing with it. Okay, now it's working again. But it works and then it just quits. I don't get it. And you can hear it beeping probably. So it'll work and then it'll just quit. And then it'll say it's reconnected. And then when I go back into the preview, it'll black it out. So it reconnects, and when you open up the preview, it just crashes immediately now. and then it's not there no more. Help me understand. Please try to reconnect your camera. I did that. This isn't the first battle you guys have seen me go through. All right, so the webcam is up now. I'm not going to try to drag the preview box around anymore. We're just going to go for it. Well, it shut down on its own again. You can't make this stuff up, and it's probably this dang cable. You remember that long cable I bought that I had a problem with? So I'm going to be back in the back of my computer for a minute, the one we're streaming from. So if it blacks out, you know why. I'm getting our USB cable that works the best. I just broke the arm off my chair. Great. I'll be getting a new one of them too. What was it I broke the other day streaming? I broke my headset for my iRacing rig. All this is great. This is how you don't live stream. If you want to show this or share it with the kids, this is how you do not live stream. So we have switched the cables out once again. And I'm going to take that old cable, if this works, and throw it in a garbage can. But for the life of me, I don't know why. Okay. All right, so we're fired up again, it looks like. I have a live stream, or I have a camera. This time it's not disappearing, so there definitely is something wrong with that cable. But OBS isn't showing it now. So when I get it fixed here, then OBS doesn't show it. I'm going to get it, don't worry. Give me a couple more minutes because I about got this battle won now. Oh, and it has been a battle. Don't think it hasn't. Okay. Why isn't it showing on OBS? It's still showing on the previous screen, no problems whatsoever with it. It looks great. It's showing kind of what I don't want you to see right now because that is on my... It's the bad luck stream for sure. It's because I tried to do it later, Craig. That's exactly what it is. Oh, why won't this camera not work? This thing is pissing me off. The camera's working and it's connected to the computer as a webcam, but now OBS isn't showing it. And if I shut OBS down and restart it because I've been having problems with it, it's going to shut the live stream down. But if I shut the live stream down, I can bring it right back up and have a camera working probably. That's what I'm down to now. And I may have to do that, but I don't want to. Why can't stuff just work like it's supposed to, right? Why can't things just work like they're supposed to? So I'm going to go ahead and add scene 2. We got display and capture. Let's deactivate that. All right. Let's delete these real quick. I'm going to try to add it back in. We'll see if it'll pick up the video camera this way. There it is. So I got the camera working that way, but it's just the camera that you're going to see. So I'll have to add our other scene back in. So you'll see it come up. You'll see the live camera, and you're going to be looking at the ITX build. But I needed to hide that and get it out of your way because I don't want you to see it. All right. So let's try doing some sizing here. Oh, help me understand, right? I guess we're going to do a display capture now. So let's click OK to that. Select a display. I think it's this one. Nope, that's the wrong one. Is it this one? That's the right one. Click OK there. Well, why is it putting my camera there? Look at that. Now I knocked my camera out. Help me understand. Oh, I know why. Hold on. I can't figure that out. This one needs to overlay the other one. So I don't want the other one messed up there. Oh, look what I did. Oh, you can't make that up. I just twisted that thing around. Ugh, I'm drawing lines where I don't need them. I got that box where I don't need it. And this ain't filling up my box. I think we're just going to have to go with this, much as I hate to say it. I don't know why it's fighting me. Now it's covering my screen up and I can't see the camera. All right, we're going small screen because we're still getting this stream done and I'm tired of messing with that thing and I'm about ready to throw a camera and a computer and everything out. I ain't kidding you guys. It's been a rough week. That's how it works though. Sometimes you have good days, bad days, rough weeks. It's just that it's a rough week. So this one doesn't need to be in the way because this is a video I'm working on and it's had some pretty substantial. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag on this one, guys and gals. You're just going to have to wait for the video to drop, but I think you're going to like what I done. I think you're going to like it, and if you don't like it, oh well. I like it. That little guy is coming out beautiful, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I got cable management left to do on it. So there you go with that one. What I want to get out, though, is something that come up on a comment from a video a while back. And I found it interesting because when I did it, I didn't even think about it, okay? So I did something, I didn't think about it, and it worked. And I read that comment, and I'm like, huh, that's odd because it worked for me. So I'm not sure why anyone else would have a problem with it. There you go. You can see my face here, my ugly mug. So I wasn't sure why anyone else would have a problem. And I wanted to test it. Why is the camera crooked? Oh, you can't make these issues up. You just can't make them up. So we have here, this is what I want to test. This is the theory we're going to test. What we have down in front of me is a Asus TUF Gaming B550 Plus motherboard. Okay, so B550. I'm going to bend you guys down where you can see it. This thing is all discombobulated. All right, we'll move that forward so it falls over, and that'll be perfect, right? So you're looking at the B550 board. So what the comment was, and I never thought about it when I did it, is the comment was, how did you get that second generation Ryzen to work on the B550 board? Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know that they wouldn't work on the B550 board. So what we're going to do, since it worked on the other motherboard that I did in the, which one is it? It's in the Leon Lee. So the Leon Lee has a B550 board in it, maybe? Yes, that sounds right. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it has a B550 board, but it has a Ryzen 7 2700X in it. So this is the 2600X that I bent the pins on, and then I straightened them and I put it in the ITX build. Well, if it's not in the ITX build no more, that means something else is in there. And that something else come out of this motherboard when I bought it on a marketplace deal. So you're going to see a video that's going to feature this motherboard, but I didn't really buy it for the motherboard. I bought it for the memory and the CPU, which I won't share. You can catch that on the video. So with that said, we're going to use the worst thermal paste in the world. Might actually be the best. I don't know yet because the verdict is still out. I have done bench testing with this stuff, and I thought it would be garbage, but I'll be honest with you, it doesn't work too bad. So this is called Gen-L thermal grease. So you see it right there, thermal grease. Not thermal gel or thermal paste, thermal grease. So we're just going to use our shop towel, and we're going to dab it on this CPU right here. Ooh, that stuff is all splashing. That's great, grand, perfect. Nope. This ain't never going to work. It's going to overheat like you've never seen. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to burn it up. You guys can put that in the chat. We'll probably just burn it up. We'll burn the CPU up. All right, let me check it. Fury X. Who's Fury X? Do I see him in there? Hyper Fury X? Yeah. I was thinking about an R9 Fury graphics card. I have one that, well, I had one, and I actually sold it in a computer. And then I seen on Marketplace where the same dude I sold it to has pulled that R9 Fury out and listed it for $50. And I'm thinking about going and picking it up because I really like the R9 Furies. Hyper Fury's the memory in this thing probably. I don't know. I've got two different ones in here. I got G-Skill and T-Force. So we'll see if that won't work because it probably won't. But we're going to try it anyway. Let's get this cooler in place real quick. Let's just get the cooler in place. We won't go with real quick. I'm not a fan of these CPU coolers for the Ryzens and any of I don't know if it's the coolers that do it or just the pinned-in processors. But these things like to yank the processor out of the motherboard, and the older AMDs were bad about it too because that thermal paste gets dried out on both sides, and the next thing you know, boom, you got a CPU cooler stuck to the dang processor. You yank it out, you bend the pins. That's what happened to this 2600X the last time. So we're running two different types of memory in there, and the one memory, I don't know if it works. The other memory, I do know works. So I figured we'd put them in there to test to see if the other ones work, right? Not a bad idea. And we're going to use this power supply that literally has no wattage to it, but it worked testing stuff earlier for me, so I can't see where it's going to go wrong. That's why we're just going to try it, because that's what we do at SimStation. We try dumb things. We try dumb things so nobody else has to. You guys are going to be proud of me, by the way. You know what I did on the keyboard? Because some of these newer boards don't have the my favorite PS2 port. I switched out to a USB keyboard. You believe that? Oh. Let me get my phone to quit going off. So I switched out to a USB keyboard. So we'll have a keyboard. If it lights up, I don't know that it will, though. Like I said, allegedly, the second generation Ryzen won't work in the B550 board. And I'm going to say allegedly because the only one I have ever tried, or at least thought about, was the one that the comment came on that how did you get the second gen Ryzen to work on that? I said I just put it in. What else am I going to say, right? I'm going to get my other... Oh, we got some issues here. We'll pretend like we don't, but we do. This cable's laying all over the place, not where it should have been, and I'm surprised it ain't cut in half, to be honest with you. But we got our HDMI plugged in. We got our capture card hooked up in the computer again. Will it work? What's your guys' thoughts? Put it in the chat. Is it going to work? If you're watching, will it work? Right in the chat right now, right before I fire it up. We're going to smell for smoke too. So that's the first test here. Turn that on. We got lights on the board. Fans plugged in. Give her the old sniff test now. I don't smell anything. No smoke. Nothing burning. So let's see it. Will it work? Put it in the chat. Will it work? I want to see it. You put it in the chat and I'll fire it up. Maybe. Oh, that's a lot of confidence there, Craig. I appreciate that one. But I mean, I don't know that I did it one other time that I remember, and it worked, okay? And it's still working because that 2700X is in that B550 board for sale. So I hope it continues to work that way. All right, anyone else? Yes or no? Is it going to work or will it not work? Put it in the chat. You got about 10 seconds right here to get that in the chat before I go ahead and fire it up and see if we can, maybe we'll burn the house down. No, we better not. My wife is in Las Vegas this week working. If I burn the house down, she's going to be really pissed off when she gets back. I can promise you that. So we'll try not to do that. Let's go ahead, though, and figure out what pin start this thing. And we got fans spinning. So that's... Do we got lights on this one? We do. And it's cycling, I believe. Maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. You guys probably seen them lights down there on that camera. Did them lights actually move? Are we going to light up and display something here? I don't see our keyboard or mouse lit up yet. Let's let it go for a minute. Maybe it needs to sort out its royal oats. I don't know. We may have a bad stick of memory in here too, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to say we don't because it seems like I had some trouble with a stick or two of this memory I got in this thing. Seems like I tested it and it did not work. So let's shut her down. Let's go with 2 sticks of RAM in it instead of 4. I can tell you guys and gals that are watching, I know for a fact this board works. Because it worked with the processor that was in it when I bought it and the memory that was in it when I bought it. So I know for a fact that it works. We're just going to pull this memory out. We might be able to leave 2 sticks in there. So I think it's this memory here, the Team Group T-Force, that I know works. I think. Or this is the one that I don't know works. But we'll find out because... we're just going to find out. We'll find out because we're just going to find out, right? All right, so let's give it another fair shake here. Different memory, 2 sticks, and let's go. How's them lights doing? I think we're going to post this time. I seen them lights are moving, and they're moving again. Are we posting? Well, the lights are flipping all around up here. We're green on the opposite end of the board now. We got a keyboard lit up. Come on, baby, light up. There it is. Look at that. New CPU installed. So, whoever commented on the second gen Ryzen's not working in a B550 board, there you go. 2 in a row. Let's go ahead and run the setup here. Look at that, though. You can't be disappointed in that, can you? Look at that. So it shows that we have a tough B550. Why is it not showing up on the damn screen now? Hold on a minute. I want you to see what I see, right? It's not going to be as big as normal, but it's there. Let's hit the capture button. We'll see if that works. It works. There you go. So right there. Let me get my drink while I'm over here. No, it's not alcohol tonight, guys. It's sweet tea, but it's still a drink nonetheless, right? I'm thinking about just dumping it on that board to see what would happen. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. There's no sense in running a B550 Asus Tough Gaming board. So, if you're looking at the screen I am, you're going to see we got a Tough Gaming B550 Plus. BIOS version 2403. I don't know what that is, if it's the latest one or who knows. We have 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM from Team Group in it. We're running 32 degrees Celsius on the CPU with our thermal grease, by the way. You see me put it on there. I dabbed it on there. And we're working, right? Let's boot into Windows. I've got a NVMe over here. We can either do this one or two ways. We can just throw it in on the boot card that I got here. Or we can do it, take it out and put it in the right way. But why would we do it the right way when we don't have to? Basically, what I'm saying is I'm just going to shove this little card in here. And then I'm going to get a USB with Windows on it. And I'm going to see if we have another problem loading Windows real quick. So let's go into USB 3 because that always makes it faster, right? Let's fire this thing up again. We have a working B550 with a 2600X in it. I figure this will be a good board for another build. I'll go into the BIOS here so we can boot from our USB. I kind of want to test on this setup a little bit, see if it works, right? Let's see if it's stable. It says Windows Boot Manager. I ain't got no damn Windows on there. Intel 5. It's showing up our hard drive. That's good, right? All right. Let's go there. F10. This time it should load into our Windows installer. And we have an Intel 500 gig hard drive there. This one, once we get this one out of the way, I'm going to put another one up here. You guys are going to love it. You're going to love I can't really tell the story. I did a whole video on that one too for an upload. But it happened to my buddy, and I spent about 2 days working on his computer. And that's all I'm going to tell you. Let's say that sim racing can be dangerous in 2025, but really no more dangerous than it was before. But it might not be so much of a danger to you as it can be your system. Does anybody want to guess what happened to that feller's computer? Because if I told you, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't believe me. So you'll probably have to hear it in the video, right? When it comes out. So we are stuck, but nope, we got a little spinning thing now. I think we're going somewhere. We were stuck, but now we're going somewhere, right? Appreciate all you tuning into the live stream here. We are working on stuff tonight. Wife is out of town, and I'm going to have some fun back here. No. Yes. All of the above. That's what's going to happen. Okay. This is a good one. This is what I wanted to happen when I did this. So I don't know if any of you have been installing Windows recently. You can put it in the chat if you have. But every time on these AMD systems now, when I go to install Windows 11, all but one time, I get this box that pops up that says install driver to show hardware. Please select the driver you want to install to make your hardware discoverable. I want you guys to tell me in the chat why it's doing it, because I know how to fix it now. And the best part about me knowing how to fix it is you can just download the most bullshit driver you can think of and put it in there and it'll go to the next phase. So have you seen this happen, or are you having this happen? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to walk over here to the streaming computer, and we're going to switch screens for a minute because I am going to download one driver for this. We just need one. So I'm going to download one driver. I should have left that open because I need it. Let me switch you screens here if I can. Maybe I have to add another desktop. I don't know. What is going on here? I'm going to delete these, and I'm going to end up redoing this stuff when I get a chance. So you'll black out for a second while I do that. All right, I get you back right there. I'm going to add a third scene here to my OBS. So it's going to black out. We're going to go to display capture. Click OK. We'll select our display here, which I think it's definitely not that one. It's this. Is that it? No, that's the one with OBS on it. So I don't know. I think that's OBS. Yeah, that's OBS in the camera. So maybe it's this one. There we go. Just a regular web page is what we're going to look at right here. You can see it. I'll blow it up bigger. And here's how this is going to go down. So we got an Asus Tough B550. What in the heck? B550 gaming. And we want drivers for it. So bam. So we'll go to Asus's website just like you would if you're downloading the drivers for something, right? Oh, I guess we'll accept their cookies or crumbs or whatever they are. So the first driver I'm going to do is the top one right here. I don't remember if that's the one I got it to work on or not. So I'm going to download two of them actually. We'll download that guy, and then we'll go here and download this guy. So we'll let those download. We ain't got to let them download. They're done already. So that's good, right? You can see the YouTube channel there, but I'm going to minimize that down real quick because I need to find that USB that looks like this. This is our Windows installer USB that I got opened up right here, okay? So now I'm going to open up another one and go to the downloads folder. I think no, I didn't do it on this computer. So let's do this real quick. Let's extract these files. So click extract, and it'll take a second to do it because once you extract them, they're a bigger file. I mean, they're compressed to be compressed, right? So when you extract it, it's going to be a larger file, so it's going to take a minute for the computer to do it. Not to mention that we're on a 4th gen Intel setup here. So we're not on nothing new. But we got that opened up and unzipped. Now we're going to go ahead and do the next one. And this will just take but a second. Well, that's a lie because we just watched the last one take 2 minutes. So I wasn't truthful on that, but this one's going a little faster. Probably a smaller file in all fairness there. So we want to take the unzip files. Oh, what did I just do? I messed everything up. Do you see that? I didn't mess half of it up. I messed all of it up. Every screen I got on this computer. And this box is too big, so There we go. What I want to do, I want to keep it on the same screen. So I'm going to move these around. I want to drag the unzip files over to our Windows installer. So we're just going to copy those over there. I would say that's going to be real quick, but I've never seen a file copy on a hard drive that fast in my life. There's no reason for it to be that slow, right? And I'm going to pull the YouTube window up so I can move it over so I can read the chat because I'm not by my phone. Why is that not going over there? There we go. And the chat's gotten quiet. Are you asleep? I mean, it's 8:45. It's not 9 yet. So come on now. I can see the chat so I can communicate with you, I promise. We're going to get this these files transferred over real quick. I don't know what the first one was. Audio. Let's go with that. So let's just use the audio file. We'll shut the rest of this down because we don't need it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and eject the U disk right there. That's our Windows 11 installer. Now we got our Windows 11 installer, right? But we have a driver on there now. So we're going to go back into this installer. And I'm going to try to mimic how I fix this. So I put the one right on our installer. And I'm sure you guys have done that a time or two. I've had to do it for Ethernet drivers before to load Windows on systems, and Wi-Fi drivers, I think I've done that way. I think I've had to do chipset drivers 1 or 2 times like that. So it's not my first rodeo, is what I'm going to say. So we're going to get back into our target system here. And it's showing our boot options right there. U-disk is 1 and 2, so that'll be fine. That's what we want to boot into. We want to boot into U-disk, and we want it to do the same error that it did before. Oh, stuffing your face? Is that what that is? I have never seen that one before. Craig, that one's awesome, man. Stuffing the face. I just did that before I started the stream. That's why I got back here at the in the nick of time, but I didn't because our camera was broke again, and we still don't have it completely straightened out. I'll fix it after the stream or tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow, but probably won't be because I got other stuff to do. I've been busy. I've been busy. That I can tell you right now, the editing rig literally got put there at about 7:15 p.m. where it's at now. So we could do the live stream tonight because it has the Elgato capture card in it. Okay, so we got our error back up on the screen. That's what I was waiting on. We got the error back. Now, if you go to browse right here, we're going to go to our CCC, our CC coma. CC coma. So that's where we're going to go. Double click it. See the DRV audio RTK. Double click that. Win60, or no, go to config. Was it config I did this? I can't remember. Maybe Win64. I don't know. It's locked up. Nope. Go to Win64 third party. And I can't remember if it's under DTSC EXT or not. Let's try that. That's it. You see how it put OEM device extension under driver description? And you've got the CDRV audio RTK. Okay, so all that's there, right? So I'm going to highlight that blue, and I'm going to click install. And it went right to the next page on the installer. So watch this. Hit next, next, install Windows 11, agree to their bullshit. I don't have a product key. So it goes right into the installer. I'm almost sure that I could go back out of this install and we could download drivers for anything that has an EXT on the end, and it'll work. So we want Windows 11 Pro, not Home. Click Next. We're going to accept the terms and agreement. I'm not a fan of Windows 11. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm not a fan of Microsoft anymore. I'm not. I was a big fan of them back in the day, but I'm no longer one anymore. So here's our next problem. Where's our hard drive at? Our hard drive showed up before, but where's it at now? We're showing our USB, but we're not showing our NVMe drive. So it has disappeared. We're going to have to shut it down anyway. I might have to take this off of here and put it onto a... I might have to go ahead and bolt this onto the motherboard. Maybe because it's got controllers on the motherboard, it don't like the way I did that. Maybe that's what it is. So, I mean, the camera's up. I'm going to use a screwdriver I got in a box from a customer. I think that was on, not a customer, I got it from an eBay purchase, the dang little ITX motherboard, if you remember that. So, the hard drive is located in this little unit, and they sent this little bitty teeny screwdriver, this little black one right here. So we're going to use it to take the 2 screws out of it. And we're going to try to get this hard drive out of here so we can mount it onto this motherboard. So this is a 500 gigabyte Intel drive. And we got 2 little bitty screws here. We're going to pull out. And watch how hard this cover is to get off, because it's got one of those thermal pads on it. We'll see how... No, this cover ain't bad. Oh, that's because I already had it off once before. I'd like to tell you why I have this drive right here, but I explained it in another video. So we're going to get that screw off of there, set it to the side, and we're going to pull this out. This motherboard is probably missing a heatsink for this, I would imagine. That would be my guess anyway. I'd say that it's probably missing a heatsink for this. And I'm going to remove the screw that they got in there out of it. And we're going to slide the hard drive in. Backwards, of course. Always want to put your NVMe drives in backwards, just because, right? Why put it in forward when you could put it in backwards? That's what I'm saying. I don't think this one is magnetic, so it's probably going to fall. I tried to use the other screwdriver to magnetize them. It is magnetic. I must have magnetized it. I use the other magnetized screwdriver to magnetize the other screwdrivers, if that makes sense. Oh. I hate these tiny screws, in case you haven't noticed. I suck at putting them on and I hate them. All right, so we now have our hard drive mounted to our motherboard, okay? And we still have our USB in there. And we still have the driver in there to trick the installer. So that's all good, right? And we'll put the... I just want to put this back together so nothing gets lost, because we will use this drive. I don't know what we'll use it in, but we'll use it in something. And something just fell off there. I broke it already. Just like the other one I had broke. These sumbitchin' drives are junk. Pardon my language. I'm going to set it to the side because I put the screw in it and it broke off. You can't make that stuff up. You can try, but you can't make it up. All right, let's get our graphics card back in. I'm wasting way more time on this one than I wanted to be honest with you. But I really wanted to prove a theory to you that it would work, because I've done it twice now in a row. But the second gen does definitely work on the B550 boards. All right, if everything's hooked back up, we're going to get back into our bootloader, our Windows bootloader. And if we get back in there, then maybe we can get Windows 11 to install on this thing. You guys are quiet in the chat tonight. I think everybody's tired and sleeping. Is it just booting into a Windows install on that drive? I think it is. It's getting devices ready. Are you kidding me right now? Are we going into Windows? Did I already have it on our NVMe drive? You got to be kidding me right now. So we don't even have to put Windows on it because I already had it on there. Oh, let's see if it goes into the install here. I got a cursor. Now I got a black screen. We'll have to see if it goes in or not. I think people did go to sleep because the chat got awful quiet. All right, we are booting into Windows on this one. Woohoo! That power supply is loud too. It has to be every bit of 150 watt power supply, and I ain't making that crap up. So let's go ahead and, oh, look at that. Brand new install. United States, that's it. US, skip that. I don't have no internet. We don't need it where I'm coming from. This looks like Windows 10. Oh, this is a tough gaming, right? We'll call it tough. Put 2 F's in there. No password where we're going. All right, so we have Windows 10, which is going to be more than likely, because I probably did it to it, it will be IoT Enterprise LTSC. That's what it's going to be. So it won't take very long to get in here with this kind of hardware and that NVMe drive. It ought to bust through this stuff pretty quick and go right into Windows, but we'll find out. We'll see right here on the Simsation channel. And then I'm going to pull another motherboard up, and I'm going to give you a little bit of story behind it. I can't give you too much because it might help run a video, but I can just tell you what happened to the motherboard, and we're going to see if we can figure out if we can fix it, or if we can figure out what's wrong with it to fix it. And I wanted to dab in that a little bit tonight, but I can't stream too late because the wife's going to be calling. She's in Vegas, so they're 3-hour time difference to us. I believe she's flying home tomorrow, though. So I think I'll have her back this weekend. She left Monday. She flew out Monday. So we've got interweb connected. Download the Crate Armory. Do we want to do that? Why not? Let's just download it. Let's clear this stuff out. Get started with a browser. Why not? Let's just get started with a browser too. We'll get it all going here on this thing. Complete the setup. Why not? Continue without signing in. Absolutely. So we're gonna, I guess we're installing the Crate Aura Creator. I don't know. Armory Crate. You tell me. I know nothing about that stuff. File folder. We'll do that. Where's that at? Right here. Where's the files at though? Windows System. I don't know what I'm looking for. I do know what I'm looking for, but I don't know where it's at. File Explorer. I do that to pin it to the taskbar because none of that stuff comes on the taskbar on these things. So you're not going to see that on the taskbar at all. Go next. No, I don't want to install that either. Cancel it. I don't even know what I went in Windows for. I wanted to make sure it booted into Windows what it was. But I guess I'm going to have to install this Armory Crate. And then if you have any questions on the motherboard or what we had to do there to make it work when we got caught on our install, you can put them in the chat now. I can't believe we made it work. I fought that install for about 2 weeks now, and I had people tell me, you got to go into BIOS and change this and change that. You got to hold your tongue to the left and make sure you don't bite it off right. Well, here's the deal. You don't have to do none of that because that's not the problem. The problem is Microsoft is a bunch of jackasses, apparently, and they don't know how to make an installer anymore that doesn't mess up, okay? So what you have to do is you got to take any old driver that you can find. So just go online, find a driver, put it on that installer, and as long as it has an EXT extension, it'll take you to the next step of the installer and you can install it. Somebody did something wrong at Microsoft, and that's why this is happening. Is anyone surprised about that, though? Honestly, come on. All right, so we got Armory Crate on here now. What are we going to do with it? What does Armory Crate even do? I don't know. You guys tell me. What does it do? We don't really know what it does. We just pretend we do. I don't know. I guess you got to agree to the policy. We have a playground. Do we want to do that? An assistant? I guess we just want a playground, right? We got off black, moonlight white. Just, no, we don't like that. No, we don't like that. We'll just do that. I guess we'll click yes here. What's it doing now? This must be the first time I've messed with that. I don't know why that would be the first time I've messed with it, but I don't know. That light is bright behind me. That's why you're getting a glare like that. I'm going to move it over to the other wall, I think, and I'm going to add another one in here too. And I think I'm going to put it up on the ceiling. So I'm going to change some stuff around. And I got to get back to work on here, but I have been super, super busy. I'm not kidding you guys. That's not why the stream went to 8 p.m. though, instead of 5 or 6. I wanted to try something different, see if it pulled in a few more viewers, but it apparently isn't working, at least not on the first stream. I want to try to find the sweet spot of time. I want people to be home from work, you know, get your groceries down your throat, that kind of stuff. Get a couple beers in your whatever you got to do, and come in and enjoy the stream. Sensation doing some ignorant stuff to something that he shouldn't be messing with, right? So I did get this board on a marketplace find yesterday. And I had already tested it, so I knew the board was good. And I knew our 2600X was good. So I thought about that comment, and I'm like, let's see if we can just make it work, you know? Let's see if it was a fluke that we got it to work on the first one, and we can just make it work on another one. And look, it's working. And not only is it working, it's in Windows, and it's working fine, right? And we're even installing the Armory Crate installer. And I want to do this to kind of prove a point. I don't know if it's lazy, Travis, or if they're just incompetent. I don't know. I mean, if you think back, we got to reboot this system, so let's do that real quick. I say this a lot, and if you, I don't know what your guys' favorite OSs was, but mine was Windows XP. Bar none, that'll always go down as my favorite operating system. There are some Linux that I like. It's definitely both, Travis. Hey there, Panther. How much was the board? It kind of ruined the video that's going to be uploaded, but I'm going to go ahead and burn this video since the board's already out. I bought this board with a really good processor and 32 gigs of DDR4 memory for $100. Board, the processor, and the memory. And I bought it as is. I will tell you that. I bought it as is. And I figured if the board was bad, that at least we might get a good processor and memory, and it was still worth $100 for me just to do that. Yeah, my favorite's XP. Second to that would be Windows 95. So it was a pretty good deal on this stuff. And it turned out that the motherboard was good. So that's the good part about it. You can see right here, we got a Ryzen 5 2600X, 16 gigs of RAM in there, and we are running the Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2 version. And they'll support this one until what? January 13th of 2032. And I think it put our drivers in. Where's that crate armory or armory crate? What's it called? I want to pull this open because I want to make sure that it shows the processor and stuff right. I mean, is it in fact an issue? 98SE was a great one too. I want to see if it was an issue, if it's an issue inside Armory Crate. So will it show the processor? Will it let you overclock it? New feature available now. Spotlight your desktop. We're going to skip that one. Log into your ASUS account. We'll cancel that out. All right, so what's it going to show here? Can we look at our setup? It shows CPU is 39 degrees Celsius, CPU package, GPU, motherboard chipset, all that's there. Fans there, frequencies. We're running about 3,550 megahertz. What happens if we go over here and click on devices? Okay. Please update the Microsoft Web Viewer. Update it. I guess it'll show you what devices you got plugged on the board, but we got to do an update here. Accept and download. We're going to run it, of course. Windows 2000 Professional wasn't a bad one either. There's a lot of people that loved it and used it. I was a bigger fan of 98SE, so I never really switched to 2000 Professional. And when I went to I stayed on 98SE until I went to Windows XP. So I never skipped to 2000, but I have used it. It's not a bad operating system at all. Why can't we go back to when Microsoft was worth a damn? Why can't we go back to those days? I don't know if that thing installed that I was looking at installing anyway. It's got two different installers open. Did we just accept and download, or did we run it, or what happened there? I guess we'll just save it. Open folder. I thought I just installed it, though. We'll do it one more time. Yeah, we installed it once. Maybe we'll just do it again, because I don't remember that block coming up and doing all this shit the last time, but I was talking and reading chat, not paying attention, so that could have had something to do with it. I'm not going to neither confirm or deny it did. I'm not going to say it was my fault, but I'm not going to say it wasn't my fault. Okay, so it actually did install. So we can close all this out, close the tabs. And I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and then I'm going to go to devices. And then we're going to click the motherboard. What? Okay, so we got to do updates, apparently. What in the world? Any and everything. Cancel that. Well, I mean, it's reading the CPU information, so obviously it still knows what it is. I still have a 98SE CD and X. I do too. I still have a Windows 95 installer too. I have it on a CD, actually. So I still have a Windows 95 too. I want Windows 95, Windows XP. I've got Windows 7. I think I even have a DVD of Windows 10. But I think I've always installed it off a USB. So, oh, here we go. So let's say there's a BIOS update. Do you think it'll knock us out with this motherboard or with this processor in here? Got it off the net, huh? Service Pack 2 on XP. So my XP disk is Service Pack 2. It's not Service Pack 3. Got it off the net. I got one of mine from the mailbox, and I bought my Windows XP at Best Buy. That is a true story. I bought my Windows XP at Best Buy. No, I bought my Windows XP at Circuit City. That's where I got it from. There's a name for you right there, Circuit City. I guess we're going to update this. Allegedly, if I update this, it'll show us our CPU. Allegedly. I'm not going to say that it will, but allegedly it will. So we'll just do that. And I don't know, we got it working pretty good. I'm pretty confident with it. I'm happy about it. I'm just trying to crash it. That's I'm literally trying to crash it right now. So I'm doing that to see if it needs a BIOS update or anything, and then we'll see if that makes it fail. I don't know that it will. We also need to test this rip-joil memory. So we're going to shut this down and just test this rip-joil stick at a time. And we're going to see if both these sticks are bad or just one of them's bad. That way we can test the memory. And I have another stick or 4 of DDR4 around here. So why don't we use this good board and setup we got to test memory with, right? Might as well do that. That'll give us something to do. We're usually testing motherboards, but tonight we're going to change it up and test memory. So we know our T-Force memory works, 2 8-gig sticks. We got Corsair Vengeance right here. And this looks like it's going to be a 16-gig module, maybe. So that's going to be 32 gigs of the Corsair DDR4. So right here, 32 gigs of that. We'll definitely test on it. This stick is a Ballistics. And I don't know how big it is or anything because my eyes won't read that small. And it don't say, I think it's a 16-gig stick as well. So I'm going to try to open this armory crate, though. Yeah, Circuit City shut down a long time ago here. So it's been quite a few years. I bought a, what was the last thing I bought from them? I think it was a Microsoft Sidewinder force feedback. That was the last thing I bought from from Circuit City. Yeah, they did. They got shut down a long time ago. So Circuit City's been going a while, and I don't guess this is going to open back up anymore. So I want to test memory now. Their stuff is broken. That armory crate is broken. Joplin, Missouri and Springfield, Missouri, huh? That's awesome. All right, here we go. Let's test memory. So let's put this in the good stack. Let's make a good stack and a bad stack. How's that? And we'll try to do, should we do one stick at a time or just all of them at once? No, I'm just kidding. We can't fit all of them in there. Test in the first or second slot. I'm going to say slot 2. I think you can run it in the first slot too if you're only running one stick. That's my understanding of that. But different motherboards are different on that stuff. So we got a stick in there now. We're going to go ahead and give her a run. And I'm going to watch my light on the motherboard to see if it cycles. And you can probably see it if I turn you around and bring you down here. But there is a little green light next to the 24-pin power. I'll move the CPU over a little bit, or the power supply, and you can probably see that little light right down there by my finger. And it did not move one bit. So I can move this over a slot. We'll grab a hold of it, take it out of here. And let's take her over one slot now. Put her in slot number 1, and let's give this memory a fighting chance right here. And if it don't work, we're going to put it in the junk pile. So we're going to try to boot it one more time here with this memory. We lit up. We went slot number 1 and the memory works. Is it a 16 gig stick? Let's find out. That memory made me a liar. I thought it was bad, and we got a working stick here. Uh-oh. No, it's working. So let's see how big that stick of memory is. 8 gigs. So that is an 8 gig stick of ballistic memory. All right. So wasn't really anything great. However, I think I have a single stick here. No, those G skills all match each other. I believe there's 3 of them. That memory should actually work too. Let's try that. Is it the same speed? Oh, let's see. I'm going to check the speed on that. 2400 megahertz. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those 3 sticks are good too. All right, so we got this ballistics going in a good pile now. We'll shut it back down. So that was successful. We know if we're testing single to go in slot number 1, by the way, because it would not light up on slot number 2. We'll hold on to that because it's a good one. Now we're going to test what I believe is a 16 gig stick of Corsair Vengeance RAM. And if we do it 1 stick at a time, we're going to go into slot number 1. And we're even going to look at how it goes and put it in backwards every time. Not just one time, we're going to put it backwards every time. All right, after we even look how it goes, right? I don't know what I did with my boot screwdriver, so we're just going to use this one. And we're going to see if we light up or not. And we're going to test them 1 stick at a time. And if we get them to both light up, we'll put them in dual and try it. But I ain't seeing nothing on the motherboard yet. Boot light is stuck on green and hasn't moved. Well, you can see the boot light, I'm sure. So we got nothing. We got no light up, nothing from that stick at all. Is it a dead stick? Ooh. I will tell you what. That definitely a bad stick of RAM. I took it out of the... This thing's hot. I mean hot, hot. So that memory's definitely burnt up. It got a little bit too toasty. So we'll try this one. We'll see if it heats up like that. That thing was hot, and I ain't even kidding you guys. About burnt my finger. All right. Here we go. So second stick of that Corsair RAM, will it work? I can tell by the boot light over here. It's just stuck on green, and it's not even trying to move or cycle. So I'm going to say that both these Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM sticks are probably junk, would be my assumption, because they are 2400 speed, and neither one of them work. And I know for a fact that 2400 will work in this board. So I'm going to say we got 2 junk ones there. Next is going to be our G-Skill. And these are 8 gig sticks here. We're going to go, we got 3 of these. Identical ones. So we're going to go 1 at a time on these. And we're just looking for the light up in the boot. There we go. You see we're going through the boot cycle now. You can see all that's going through, so we should post. We posted. So we have a working stick with that one. So we're 2 for 2 on our memory testing now. 2 for 2. We'll click on that, and it's going to show we have an 8 gig stick of installed RAM right there. So that's good. Let's drop it out of there. We'll drop it out, and we'll test the next one, and then we'll put all 3 of them in there. And then we'll mix them with the other one. I think it's 2400 too, isn't it? I don't know. How close are the speeds on this one? 2666. Will it boot with this? What do you guys think? I don't know. Can we make 32 gigs of RAM out of this? If we add that gray one in there, the ballistics. Let's try it. Will it boot with both those sticks? We know individually both sticks work, but will they mesh together here? And I think that is going to be a no bueno. No bueno on that one. It is no boot. So this one will work by itself apparently, but it won't work with the other ones. But I'm not done yet because I have done some crazy stuff and made stuff happen that shouldn't work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this one all the way to the back. I'm going to move this one right here on this slot. I'm going to put all three of these in here, and we're going to boot it up. And then I'm going to try to add that ballistics in the slot that it worked in just to see if it works. So there's a possibility that we can get that stick of RAM to play nice with these. Oh, that's definitely not right. You can feel it when you go to push down on it. If it feels like it's on a seesaw, then it's not right. So we should be able to boot like that. And that should show 24 gigs of RAM. There we go. So you see we're going through the LED lights on the boot right there. All that's working. And I appreciate you guys hanging in there for the stream tonight. But if I'm right, when we get into Windows, we're going to show 24 gigabytes of RAM if all three of them work. And survey says 24 gigabytes right here. So we got 24 gigs of RAM in here. So now we're going to try that ballistic in the slot that it liked. We know that it liked the first slot, okay? So let's go for it. Let's leave these three in here. Let's take our ballistics and put it in here too. And then we'll have tested all of our memory, my DDR4 memory that I have anyway. And that's probably not lined up right. Yeah, it's lined up right. I don't know why it's not going in. So we'll push that over there, put that right down in the middle. There we go. We're clicked in now. Oh, we did that hot. That's a great way to burn everything up. I ain't kidding you. We're going to go ahead and blow the power out of the board real quick. I don't know. I've hot swapped memory plenty of times, so probably ain't hurting nothing. I'm going to get over here and look at these post lights to see if it tries to post. I don't know that it will. But I don't know that it won't. And it don't look like it will. So I'm going to get on eBay or somewhere and try to find another one of these sticks of RAM to make a 32 gig kit out of it. Yeah, that ballistic doesn't want to play nice with others. We could see that right there. So we know the ballistic's good because we got it to post by itself, but it does not play nice with others. We're going to keep it in a good slot. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to trash these right here. These two ballistics, I'm just going to trash them. Have to get me a drink right there. Give it a shot. I think we did. I think we give it all a shot. Oh, let me throw this in the box here. Get rid of it. Oh, well, we got our memory tested. We tested the theories behind the second gen in the B550 board. And what can I say? We were right. You know what I mean? We made it work. We were right. So I'm going to get a motherboard up here since I was right about this one. And this board is going to light up. The board that I put up here, just so you know, it's going to light up. But it's got a weird issue. Vengeance. Yeah, Vengeance. Corsair Vengeance. All right. We're going to get this one out of our way. I'm going to throw this one up here and talk about it for a minute. because I'm not going to keep going too long tonight. I got a phone call with the wife in just a little bit, so I'll get that out of the way. Where's our I/O shield? Right there. All right, this motherboard I'm going to pull up here is one that you've seen on the channel before because it went in a computer that I built that I ended up selling to a local guy that does iRacing. It's back. I'm not going to tell you why it's back yet. Let's just say it had an unfortunate accident. So I ran into a problem with this board that I haven't seen before. After it ran into an unfortunate accident, what I ran into is I can get this board to post and light up, okay? But I can do it with the onboard graphics or a graphics card in there. But when you go to benchmark it, the graphics only have about a third of the frame rates that they should. If you want to look here, if I can show it on this board, I want you to look down that first PCI Express slot, look down it, and you tell me if you can see what I see there. I've never seen one do this, but look right down that first slot right here. And do you see the curvature in that slot? If you see that, I think that might have something to do with it. It had a it just had an unfortunate accident. That's all I'm going to say. I don't see any problem with the board. That's the thing about it. I don't see any busted caps or anything like that. So I'm going to put that to the side. And I thought I had my magnifying glass out, but maybe I didn't. There it is. I like to get my magnifying glass and just kind of take a look around these PCI Express slots to see if there's an issue. Maybe something busted or something that isn't exactly right on there. Need a microscope so I can see a little bit deeper on those little capacitors. I don't see nothing swelled or expanded through there. That looks good. Sometimes stuff will move around and hit some of these and knock some of those little capacitors off. Or the little resistors, rather. And I can only blow them up so big here to see if I can see a problem with any of them. The problem would be around this area, I would think. Those caps all look good through there. Let's check these up here. See if there's any. I don't know. The board works normal other than the problem with the PCI Express. And I thought it might just be the slot that's tweaked here, but it's actually the second and third slots too. I can plug them in any one of them and it does that. Oh, and I'm going to go off topic for a minute. What's it say? Does the PCI slot run like ×4, ×8, or 16 with a card in there? I don't know what it... I don't know that it's running at 16 or ×8 because it doesn't display any of that. Let me tell you what it does. So when you load into Heaven Benchmark, it will be artifacts. Like a bad graphics card, you'll see artifacts, right? And when you hit benchmark, the artifacts will go away. The problem is, instead of running 150, 60, 80 frame rates a second, it's only running about 50. So it's only running about 50 frames a second. Well, I used my other 4th gen board and put his graphics card in it, and it would run at 150 to 180 frames a second. So what I did was I went in and, on these boards, that when you load Windows and install the drivers, you're going to install a driver for the onboard graphics, right? And then you're going to install the driver for your other graphics. So I thought there might have been a problem with the onboard, and I went into the motherboard and the BIOS, and I shut down the onboard. So I shut down the onboard graphics so it would force it to use our PCI Express. I want to look right here in this area. I'll bet you money the problem is right in here, because there are resistors down there. I can see them. And I'll almost bet you that that's where the issue's at, that it's busted some of the... I can see where they're missing. No. That's not right. But you can see where it tweaked that slot over there. I need a microscope, because I'll bet you this is where the problem's at. I'll bet you one of these little resistors is the issue. I'll bet when it twisted, when that cage twisted and it twisted that graphics card, I'll bet you money that it messed up one of these little resistors on here. I can't tell, but I bet with a microscope I could. Because the board looked fine before. Yeah, this board worked fine before. It had the misfortunate situation that it did. Let's go ahead and pop a processor in it, and I'm going to show you what it's doing. I mean, that's the best way rather than explain it. So I got a 47 or a 4570 S in right here. I don't know what I got. I got a CPU, okay? And I think it sits in here like this. So we're going to do that. I don't have the memory that was in it because I've already fixed the PC and I dropped it back to him this evening. So he's got it back, and he texts me that he's very happy because I actually... That other motherboard, if Ron Clevenger tunes in and sees this, or he's watching it now, I appreciate that deal that we worked out, buddy, because I paid that 4th gen Intel board forward on this deal. So I didn't charge him for the motherboard. Let me show you guys the CPU cooler. You're going to see this on the video. This will give you a very good idea of what this computer went through, that this board come out of there. Do you see that twisted up son of a gun? I mean, if I'm holding it straight, just look at the cooler. Yeah, you cannot make that up. I mean, just look at that thing. So I'm not going to say it didn't take a hit, because it absolutely 100% took a hit, right? You can look at it and tell that it did. We got 8 gigs of RAM. This G-Skill work with these. I know it will because I've tried this RAM before. It's going to give us 8 gigs, which is fine. We need a CPU cooler, though. I should have a stock one laying around here because... Oh, yeah, this tiny little thing right here. It'll work on an i5, though. We only got an i5 in it. We don't have an i7. It had a hard life. You're right. That we'll put it that way. It had a hard... It may have drank too much. I can't confirm that, but alcohol... No, we won't say alcohol. What kind of liquid may have been involved in that whole thing right here. When you guys hear the story, because I made a video of it, because there's considerable damage, okay? But I was able to get it going for a feller, and he is very thankful. I surprised myself on that one. I really did. I'm like, this needs replaced, this needs replaced, and this needs replaced. And he's like, I don't have any money. Can you help me out? And I had to cut it down, and I may have had to allegedly even go to the shop and do some stuff to it, allegedly. So I was going to do this stream from the shop actually, but I didn't get the internet cable run out there yet. So I promise I'll try in the next week or two to get that internet cable run. I have the cable. I was outside a couple weeks ago, and I told my neighbor, I was telling him I need to pick up some Cat 6 cable to reach out to my shop. He said, hold on a minute, Vern. The board was in a sim racing rig? No. Well, yes. Okay. It wasn't in the rig itself. He rolls old school. So let's just say he bolts his wheel to his desk. And that's probably giving too much of the story away right there. Because I'm sure that any of you that have done PC racing with a steering wheel or driving like GTA or anything like that will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. That's just how bad shit happens. Bolt a steering wheel to a desk. Don't bolt it, just use the clamp system it comes with and put it on a desk. That'll explain it all right there. You can't. Bad things happen, okay? There's a video on it. A video on the whole computer, and my wife and I made bets actually on what happened to it. We really did. I told her the story behind it, and she looked at it and she's like, no way. And I said, allegedly, that's what happened, because that's all it is allegedly. You don't know for a fact unless you were there. How would you know what happened? You know what I mean? You just got to take somebody's word for it. But that's what we did, allegedly. I do like that I got a USB keyboard hooked up to it, because some of these that don't have the dang PS2 ports, this is nice, but I have a PS2 port on this one. This was a really nice 4th gen motherboard. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, we can't turn the power supply on because we don't have all the power hooked up, guys. Why didn't you tell me I forgot to hook the power supply up? You guys are the one watching that. I got the camera on that. You got to tell me this stuff. Now, really, let's where is the 4-pin? Help me understand this bullshit. There we go. There's a 4th pin. Don't worry about it. It'll work on an 8-pin. Just don't worry about it. HDMI cable? Maybe, possibly, huh? We'll get one of those out. Yep, we got one. We'll plug it into... Oh, that sucks. Plug it in right there. All right, we are on the motherboard. We're hooked up with a mouse and keyboard. No hard drive, but we actually do need one for testing purposes. We can fix that. I got something installed on this hard drive. Something's installed on it. I don't know what. I think it's Windows, actually. I think I might have Windows installed on that little drive right there. But it'll work for testing anyway. You need a SATA power. Oh, we'll see if that's right. That's definitely not right. It's wrong. Okay, so we got a hard drive hooked up now. We got everything hooked up. Let's power it up and go. Jump our 2 pins. Let's see if we post here. Yep, we're going to post. You know how I know that? Because we posted. So no problem getting it to post, okay? That's not where the issue's at. Let's get in here and get some drivers on it real quick. Oh, I guess to do that, we need interweb, Ethernet. So let's plug that in over here like so. Got our Ethernet hooked up. Let's change our display. And we already got stuff to benchmark with this one, so we're good. I can tell you that this little graphics card, we're putting drivers in. That's why it blacked out. Keep the changes. 1920 by 1080. All right, did we put drivers in for our graphics card? Hopefully we did, so I don't have to download them and install them. We don't need the SM bus controller for where we're going. Nope, we don't have our graphics drivers, so we'll wait a second. It won't take it long to put the drivers in by itself for the 1050. That's a fact. So we shall not take long doing that. I can turn the camera here, just like that. And then you can look over here instead of looking down there, and you can see me. See my ugly mug. Well, it said we had NVIDIA stuff there, didn't it? Did you just see that pop up? That said NVIDIA, but we definitely got an NVIDIA driver in here. Let's just go ahead and install it. Close that crap out. GTX 1050 Ti. You guys ought to see what my phone's sitting on. That was this ain't a Ti. And it ain't a 1060. It's a 1050 drivers. This is only like a 2 gig 1050 at that. So it's not, this card is not anything special. I can promise you. So let's go here, 16 series. We're going to flip that down to the 10 series. And we're losing driver support for the 10 series. You guys believe that? This is Windows 11 too. We love it. We got Windows 11 here. So it's hard to believe that we're losing our 10 series driver support. I mean, they'll still work, don't get me wrong. We just aren't going to get any new drivers for them. So that kind of sucks, right? I think getting old sucks in general because all that shit happens. You start, first you get Microsoft wants to commit suicide with the company and say, oh, well, if you don't have TPM 2.0 and secure boot, you can't have Windows 11. It won't run on your computer, right? We know that they did that because they said they did. So then they were going to abruptly end support in October, but now it appears that they're going to continue to support it for another year. But the requirement for that, and here's where it goes to bullshit. The requirement for getting a year of free updates to continue your Windows 10 for a year is that you create a Microsoft account. So what does that tell you guys that Microsoft's after? If you have to create an account, what is Microsoft after? It's not hard to figure out. It's called money. It's called your information, so they can do like everyone else to get your information, and they can sell it all over the world. And then you wonder how these companies know this about you or know that about you. It's because they know everything about you. And I'm not even going to go into an ad. I'm not going to go into an ad. That's what TPM 2.0 and we're not backing that up. TPM 2.0 and Secure Boot don't help you and I. They help Microsoft. I'm sorry, but they do. That's my thought behind it. As soon as Linux and these anti-cheats mesh together better, where we can get stuff like iRacing and some of the other games working on Linux better, then I can see Microsoft on the gamer side getting crushed. Linux has picked up a pretty good market share, and I'm happy to see that because if iRacing worked with the anti-cheat and the direct drive wheels good on Linux, I would be running Linux on everything. And I'm not kidding about that. I like it much better. It's my Linux installs are more stable than what the Windows installs are. I've had some weird crap happening with the solid state drives on Windows 11. I've had weird crap happening on installs and everything, and it's really aggravating. And I know that it's Microsoft doing it. I know it's not me because I've installed Windows on thousands of systems with no problem. So I know the problem's on them, and if one of their employees wants to get into the live stream and call me out on it, I'd more than welcome them to. If somebody wants to go get one of their coders and bring them in here, we could have a chat with them, right? But I know that it's theirs, just like installing the Windows on that other motherboard we had up here. You've seen the box that I had pop up. I've never had that pop up on Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows XP. I've never in my life seen that hardware box pop up on an install. Never. And I've done thousands of installs. I've never seen that box pop up. So when it did, obviously, it pissed me off enough that I thought, I won't put Windows 11 on it, I'll just put Windows 10 on it. And I never had that problem on Windows 10, right? So I didn't worry about it too much. We're just putting graphics drivers in this now, if you're wondering what I'm doing. I didn't want to wait for Windows to download the drivers for it. We are on Windows 11 on this one, so it may or may not crash or be stable, or I don't know. But I want to show you that the motherboard's working fine, right? Everything that you've seen on this board is fine. But I'm going to show you what's wrong with it. And the only way I know to show you what's wrong with it is to literally show you what's wrong with it. And this isn't Microsoft's fault here. No. This involves sim racing, a desk from Walmart. There you go. We'll add that in there because that's not in the video. So a desk from Walmart, a sim racing wheel, and practicing sim racing. You put 2 and 3 together there, 1 and 10, you'll know what happened. All right, just like everything on a graphics install, we're going to agree and continue just like that. So this ought to take 30 hours, maybe 4 hours to install. I don't know. Oh. We've had people come in and just pop out of the stream. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Right, Panther Kev? What could possibly happen? You get a Walmart desk. Okay. If you trust your sim wheel on a Walmart desk, that's the first problem right there. So can you imagine putting a direct drive wheel on a Walmart desk? Oh, that would end badly. I mean, badly, badly. I have direct drives on my Ricmotech design wooden rig that I built years ago. I don't worry about having the direct drive bolted to that one. It's solid as a rock. Now I got this play seat style that I use the Turtle Beach direct drive on, and that one is a little bit shaky. I do have it bolted to it, and I've done a couple things to stabilize it, but it's still just slightly. No, it didn't work. It definitely did not work. And it's living on a prayer. It's living on a prayer until you're not. That's all I'll say. He was living on a prayer until he wasn't. And thankfully for good viewers and good subscribers like you guys are, I was able to get a motherboard that I could pay forward. And I'll do that. I mean, if someone ships me that stuff, if I don't have anything in it, if I got an opportunity to help someone else out, I'm going to. It's paying it forward, right? That's the right thing to do. So I didn't get the motherboard for free. Ron and I worked a deal on it, and that's how I ended up getting it. So he gave me a great deal. He needed something that I had, and he sent me quite a bit of stuff that we've had fun with on these live streams. That's where that A series that we messed with, what was it, a 6850 or whatever K AMD, that's where that come from. So I had some stuff come from him that allowed us to do, I think maybe even, no, the motherboard for the AMD didn't. Did you see that comment? What was it? Last Thursday we did the AMD 8320FX. Somebody told me I shouldn't use that in 2025 on the comments. I can use whatever one I want, right? I can pull up my Dell XPS with the Core 2 Quad, and I can use it in 2025 or 2030. I'm not going to play AAA titles with it. That's not going to happen. In fact, there's a couple AAA titles now that you're not going to play unless you've got a new graphics card. What is it? A couple of those games that you have have to have a 4th gen or newer RTX card, like a RTX 40 or RTX 50, and AMD 6000 and 7000. Tell me that's not a little bit ridiculous. So if you got like a 2060 or 3060, those new AAAs won't work on it. That's wrong. That's a good way for a gaming manufacturer to put themselves out of business quickly. Eliminate what people can play your game, okay? Do you know how many percentage of people are running on budget hardware that's gaming? Does anyone want to give a number out on that? Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with the X5650. I'd still rock it. No doubt about it. I am so the last video, Tuesday's video I put out, I'll bring that up while we're installing these drivers. The Crossfire build. I want to go down that road for a minute. I wish I had it up here right now, or I still had it set up on a triple screen. So I'm going to tell you what happened because it wasn't on the video. This happened afterwards. I told you that I would get, let me go grab it. Let me grab it, and I'll trip over the cord so we knock our live stream out while I'm doing it. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to describe to you exactly how this played out. Because we have a motherboard up there we can demonstrate, right? So, this board's got 3 slots on it. And so did the Sabertooth FX, or Sabertooth X58 board. So, I bought this guy, which is simply a USB 3.0 PCI Express adapter, right? Simple. Simple, simple. So I bought this because I had 1x1 slot in between my 2 graphics cards in Crossfire. I put this in, I plugged my front USB in, and I had USB 3 at the front, okay? No problem. Well, I went in to test in Crossfire, and my Crossfire wouldn't work. It wouldn't even show up on the Radeon software. So I didn't have Crossfire, okay? So I scratched my head, and I got so pissed off that I deleted Windows and rolled it back. Because I thought Windows done broke my Crossfire. And I went to Windows 11, and it wouldn't work, and I had it working on Windows 11 before. And I went to Windows 10, and it still wouldn't show up for enabling Crossfire. And I walked away from it, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I'll bet you if I go take this little card out, that my Crossfire shows back up and works. So I did it, and sure enough, my Crossfire worked. So when I put this PCI Express x1 card in there, and that Asus board, it disabled my Crossfire. Can't make that up. So now, let me go to what you didn't see in Tuesday's video, and that was me testing iRacing on triple screens with that old setup. All right, so here's what went down. This isn't allegedly, it went down. The last time I did this was about 2018. I used both those 280Xs, and I crossfired them. And I did it with a 6-core 12-thread 1366, and that son of a gun rocked. 150, 160 frames a second, and it maybe even 200 in some cases. it rocked, right? So I go Crossfire setup on iRacing now, 50 frame rates a second. And I'm like, something's wrong. That's not right. I do Heaven benchmark, 150. What'd we get? Like 150 frames a second doing that, pretty average on the video. So I couldn't figure out what was going on. Why it wasn't more than that, and I thought maybe iRacing's updated to that point now. So I get in there, and it disabled my Crossfire again, and I get in iRacing, and I didn't realize it was disabled. I was getting 100 frames a second on one R9 280X. And when I put it in Crossfire, it cut it in half instead of doubling. So Crossfire hurt me instead of helped me. I don't know if it's the motherboard causing it or if it's just Crossfire not working right anymore. So what I'm going to do is take one of my other 1366s, put the two R9 280Xs in it, and Crossfire it and try it on the triple screen on iRacing again. Furthermore, on that one, we're done here, so we're going to go ahead and fire up Heaven. So I want you to take a look at this when we go in here. What's up, Alex? Welcome back. I constantly sell lower-end PC builds versus my higher-end builds, even mid-tier builds. Yes, because they're cheaper. I'm the same way. My lower-end builds fly out the door. Any mid-range and high-end, it's like you hit the brakes on them. I'm getting tired of building higher-end ones because of that. I just won't do it again. We're not going to go on high settings. We're going to drop it down to about medium. And we're going to click Run, and I'm going to show you something. So we got our GTX 1050 graphics drivers installed, right? We have our i5, what was it, a 4570S? We got 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, so I mean, we really ain't breaking no record. So everything looks good here. Here's where things go awry. Oh, actually, it looks fine. Why is it working now? What in the dickens? This looks about right. Before there was pixelation and everything. But that was with the 1660 Ti too. We need a bigger graphics card, but we need a power supply to do it. And I don't have a better power supply. Maybe I'll pick an extra power supply up before next week. I'll look at doing that. Maybe I'll pick a better one up and we can test with better graphics cards. This I can't really tell. I'm going to tell you that it's working right. A 1050 at 80, 90 frames a second seems right. Is that sound right to you on medium? I mean, anyone else see a problem with this right here? And before, when it would go into the benchmark, and before you click benchmark, everything was artifacted. Now it's not. Everything's working and showing up. So that's a welcome change. Here's how we'll do it. Nova Bench. Let's quit this one real quick because that seems to be working. Nova Bench will tell the story. When I ran Nova Bench, it would give me a score for the onboard graphics. We have Nova Bench on it, so let's pull it up. This would give me a score for the onboard graphics. It wouldn't show the 1660 Ti. So we're going to see if it's working right now just by clicking Start. That was from when I put the other motherboard in. Good score, actually, for an old 4th gen. Okay, we need to start the benchmark, so we're going to do that real quick. It's showing our i5. It's showing our GTX 1050 in there. But let's go through it and let's see if it scores right. Yep, that's what happens, Panther. You explain the problem, everything that happened, and it'll disappear. But we don't have the 1660 Ti in it either. And in all fairness, we don't have a comparison for this either. So we don't know that it's not hindering the frame rates of that 1050. We're going to find out, though, because we could throw another motherboard up here and test that card in it to see what it does. But it's not fair because I don't have another 4th gen board to test it against. I do on my streaming computer. I'm just saying, but then we can't, we'd have to swap graphics card, shut the computer down, so that's not going to happen. I'm not so sure that the problem's gone, is what I'm saying. But things are looking better. You think it dried out? Oh, shit, I'm giving too much of the video away now. But do you think the motherboard might have dried out? Let's just allegedly say it got wet. Do you think it may have dried out and it's working right? Yeah, I have to read that over here. I can't see it. I don't even know what coffee is. KOFI. What is that? I don't have any clue. I would think it would be possible as well, and that could have actually happened. But I'm still apprehensive about the board not being fixed. I mean, it's going to be hard for you guys to see. I'll try to get you to see. It knocked a dent in this motherboard. Look right down here on this red thing that I got my finger on, and there's literally a dent right there. There's literally a dent there. And I don't know if that's where the CPU cooler busted or come off and hit it or what. This thing took a whack. You'll see in the main video for it. A fundraising platform. I need one of those. I need to raise some funds for Simsation. No, I don't ask for money. I don't ask for handouts. If you guys have old boards and stuff that you're not doing anything with, you want to see them tested on the stream, or if you need me to look at something on the stream, I'll do it. You can contact me through the email linked in the channel, and I'll give you shipping information or whatever you want. I've had a couple people reach out and do that for the channel, and that's actually where this board come from too. This come from Dan. This was the original donation to the channel. So that's where that board came from. Hopefully it is working right again. I mean, I want it to be working right, right? The GPU score is right on this one. 103 is right. That 1050 is 103 to 104 all day long. 103 to 104 all day long. So that's looking right. I mean, it's a dismal score. It's not good. It needs attention, according to there. It ranks lower than 32% of all systems tested on NovaBench. So definitely not a good score, and it doesn't score what the 4790K did with the 1660 Ti. You can see it right there. So that's not too bad for a 4th gen. It probably put it about 50% mark, I would guess. I don't know. 58%, ranked higher than 58% of all systems tested. So that one was pretty good. That's his build now, that right there. With the exception, his score's higher because it has the NVMe drive back in it. So that's a true story. I don't know. Maybe it dried out and it's working right again. I don't know. I'm still kind of a fan of the 4th gen Intel stuff. I like it. I've got all kinds of boards here, Chris. I have the editing rig right now has it was a deal I got with Ron too. So it's a deal we worked out. I ordered something for him on trade for some stuff. And this motherboard and processor was the Asus Deluxe board, and it had a 4790K with 32 gigs of RAM on it. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? That thing has dual USB 3.0 ports, so I'm actually going to use that for the streaming computer. And that's what I said. So we built it on the live stream. And that's the computer that does all the video editing now, and it does these live streams. It's an i7 4790K. I'll show you. I can go to scene 3 right there, our desktop. We can close that out because we fixed that and don't need it no more. Let's go to system. And then we'll blow this up a little bit. So you can see right there, we're on a 4790K at 4 gigahertz, 32 gigs of RAM. We got, what graphics card I got in this? I'm wanting to say it's a RX 5700 XT. I think that's what I use in this machine, but we're going to find out real quick under Device Manager. I don't know what the deal is with that WAN driver, but I got unknown device showing up here now. I don't know what I got on here. It's something I got plugged into it probably. RX 5700 XT right there. They are workhorses, Chris. Every one of them I've got have been, and I am a big fan of them. But there's the 5700 XT that's running on it. And do you think that the 4790K is bottlenecking that 5700 XT? I'll fire up iRacing and we'll give it a shot with the VR. It'll work too. I've done it. I know it'll work. You probably seen me do it. I've done it. So that's it on the editing rig. I mean, that's the system we're running. And I like it. It edits our videos. It handles the live streams fine. I don't have any problem with them. The only problem I have on our live streams is OBS and the GoPro camera. That's it. Yeah, just that's the only issues. It is the GoPro camera software. I'm going to get camcorders from now on, guys and gals. I'm going to go buy old camcorders at yard sales and stuff where I look for PC stuff, thrift stores, and I'm going to buy them cheap. And I'm going to set them up and do live streams with them. Because I think it'll do better than more expensive GoPros and newer GoPros and stuff now. I have had more problems with that camera than what I would like to admit. With batteries especially. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that. So I'm thinking about maybe swapping to older camcorders. I'll need a lot better tripods. I don't think my little wimpy ass tripods will hold one. There you go. There's one right there. That's the tall one. This is actually the tallest one I got. And that's it fully extended on the floor. So right there, that's it fully extended on the floor right here. So that's why it's always looking up at the shots. It's looking up because it's vertically challenged, right? Yeah, some of them look that way. Mine, thankfully, looks good. I mean, when I go back through it, it doesn't look like a fisheye so much. My GoPro's a Hero 9, so I don't know what you guys have, but mine is a Hero 9. Chris has a 7. I think mine's a Hero 9. It says it on the side, don't it? Well, it says GoPro on it. I don't want to touch it because it might break our stream. If I touch it, we'll probably break the stream. It's a 9. It says it right on this side. So this is a GoPro Hero 9 camera that we have hooked up. I was going to show you that this board was broke, but for some reason it's working now. Did it dry out? Do I need to put it back in his computer? It's working, right? No, I don't think we should go through all that and swapping it back out, because it doesn't mean that it won't have the same problem when I put a bigger graphics card in it. Let's go to high settings. Do you think it'll run high? It'll probably run it, but it ain't going to have great frame rates, right? Let's see what it does here. High settings on NovaBench. 4th Gen Intel i5 4670 or 4570S, 8 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1050. There ain't no way. There ain't no way this 2 gig card is running over 50 frames a second on high on this. Nothing acts up until people are watching the stream. That's a fact. You can test fire these all day long and not have an issue. Long as you're not streaming. As soon as you start that live stream, you'll never get the camera to work off the bat. Nothing will want to work right. That's why my screen looks so jacked up on this live stream right now. Because if I go back to my regular OBS setup, it shows no camera. It's aggravating, and it's aggravating, and it's aggravating. It's 10 o'clock now. I think I've been going about 2 hours. I'm going to have to cut her down after this one. I'm going to let this play out, though. Let's let the 1050 play out on high settings here. I'm going to try to find a bigger power supply for us, too. We're going to revisit this next week. I'm going to get a different power supply that we can run a larger graphics card on. And when I say larger, how do you think the 4th Gen would do with a 1080 Ti? I'm glad you caught the live too, Chris. I'm going to try doing these later. Instead of starting them at like 5 and going to 6 or 6:30. I'm going to try to start them at 8 o'clock now. So if we need to go to 10, I'm tired. I'm getting ready to go to bed. That's why I'm going to cut down pretty shortly. And I'm still waiting for my wife to call. I haven't heard from her yet, but she'll be calling, I'm sure. It's 7 o'clock in Las Vegas. So it's 10 o'clock here, it's 7 o'clock there. They're 3 hours behind. But I'll probably do that, and then I'm going to get my ass to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long week. 4 days has been long enough for me this week. I'm telling you. And I still got plenty of shit to do. Our SimStations Yukon broke down. It's not really broke down. I went on a marketplace find yesterday, and everything's fine, right? And I'm going down the road, and I started hearing this noise, and I'm like, something is not right. Something's wrong. That don't sound right. And I thought maybe an idler pulley or something, a bearing was going out. So I get stopped, and I pop the hood on it, and I listened to it, and I could hear it real good. It was a power steering pump. So I shut it off, and I pulled the lid off the power steering pump, and there's nothing on the stick. And I look, and it blew the pressure hose on the power steering line. So when I went for my marketplace find earlier, I stopped at the parts store, and I picked up a new high pressure hose, and I bought 2.5 gallons of power steering fluid, because we're going to make sure that we got plenty enough to do this. I'm thinking about replacing. There's no way this 1050 hits this kind of frame rates on this, guys and gals. This is bullshit fake. It is, but the hose isn't real hard to get to. It runs from the pump to the rack and pinion, so it's not terrible to get to. I'll put it on tomorrow. I have a truck too, so it can be down for a week or 10, and it don't matter. I'll just drive my truck. I have a Chevy Avalanche, so that's what I've been driving since the SimStation Yukon broke down. I drove the Avalanche all day today. The Avalanche needed driven too. I love that truck. I'll keep it until I go in the grave. I'm not kidding you with that. I can't believe the frame rates that 1050 GTX 1050 2 gig still hits. That's insane. And we choose that card because it doesn't take a power pin like a PCI Express power. It just powers off the motherboard. That's why we like it. The 660 scores about the same. Now we'll see what the final is. We went 65.2 average, 1644, 24.9 minimum, 136.9 high. Does that seem normal for a 1050, GTX 1050? I'd almost think it's a little low, to be honest with you. I don't think it's quite normal. I think it's a little low, just like I seen with the problem with this thing. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down because I'm going to shut the live stream down. I'm tired, guys. It has been a fun one. So we got to test some theories, right? Well, one theory for sure. Throat's dry. I don't have a drink. So that theory was, can we make a second gen Ryzen work with a B550 motherboard? And the first time I did it by accident and it worked. And today we did it on purpose and it worked. So that tells me that the people saying the 550 series don't support the second gen processors is wrong. So we proved them wrong on that. Let's do this. I'm going to find a first gen Ryzen. I'm not going to find one. When I go up to Charleston, my son gets out of SEER training and ends up in Charleston, where his base is gonna be, and we go visit him. I'm gonna do some computer swapping with him, and he has a Ryzen 7 1700X, which is a first gen Ryzen. So I'm gonna get that back here after we do our swapping around, and I upgrade the young man, who I can't thank enough for serving our country. Good kid, smart kid. So I'm going to upgrade his computer for him, and I'm going to bring the 1700X home, and we are going to try the 1700X in the tough motherboard. Oh, let's see here. Shit, I didn't even think about that, Panther. You know what? Don't go nowhere. Let's throw it up here real quick and try it. Man, it ain't going to hurt to plug it back in and test it, right? Because you're right, GPU-Z will show if it's running in a times 16 slot. And that would explain if that's the issue or not. But what would have physically been damaged to knock the X16 slot out? Put that down there. Could it physically damage the board and knock the times 16 out? Because that seemed like more of a BIOS problem, right? More possibly a software problem than a hardware problem. So, but that is interesting, and you're absolutely right. It'll show what you're running in, whether it's times 16 or times 8 or whatever. And furthermore, we are in the first slot on this board, which is a times 16 slot, correct? So we'll get the internet hooked up. We're definitely doing this before this stream ends, because curiosity is killing me right now. That would be very interesting to see if it's running in times 8 instead of times 16. I'm going to tell you that right now. And we may be on to something after that. I don't think we're on to nothing before that, but we might be on to something after it. So we're going to boot back in here one more time. Well, it's not the PSU, because it works fine with the other motherboard in it. The PSU's in it right now, and it works fine with the other motherboard. So there's no problem with the power supply. The only thing left out of the equation is the board itself. The CPU, memory, hard drive, everything, graphics card is on the 4th gen port I put in for them. We'll get CPU Z downloaded here. I usually put them on every computer. And I've been lazy and not been downloading this stuff on here, so. And I don't know why when I go to CPU Z, it takes forever to load now either. It used to be really fast. Now it's like forever. We don't want that bullshit. It's like their site's getting hijacked by clickbait. All right, so we got it downloaded. Let's get it installed. Right there. Accept. Next, next, next. Install. We don't need a README. I know how to use it. All right, here we go. Is it running in times 16 or times 8? Put it in the chat. What do you think? Times 16 or times 8? We're going to click the graphics tab. Oh, let's see here. It shows a bus width, 128 bits on this. It just says current. It's running at 8.0 GTs. It's not running at times 16. Oh no, current link with times 16, right? So current link width is times 16, but the current link speed is 2.5 GTS. Max supported is times 16, PCI Express 3.0. And max supported, it seems like it's working right in here. It's showing in times 16 on the PCI Express 3.0. The bus is blank, but that's probably supposed to be. So I believe that it's working. I think that it's actually working right. At least it's showing up right. We go to graphics, it just shows us what it is, so it don't show anything about the slot. That's all on the main board. And then this is all the CPU stuff, but if we go to the main board, down here's graphics interface, we got times 16 right there. So it is showing up. Everything looks right there, and anything that I've ever seen in this. That's odd, isn't it? It was worth a shot. I'm not so sure it's broke anymore, though. That's the thing. I mean, everything that I've seen on it tonight, it appears to be working properly. So I'm not sure it's broke. We need a power supply to know for sure. What watts do we have here? This says it's 400 watts, but it doesn't have any, it doesn't weigh crap, and it doesn't have any of the PCI Express plugs on it. So not even a PCIe times 6 or nothing. We got no plugs for that, and it's literally a 4-pin CPU plug on it. So that's a no bueno too. We don't want to stress them too hard with that 4-pin on that 8-pin motherboard, because you're just asking. You're asking for trouble, and we don't need no more. I'm going to leave all the stuff on this board tonight, though. I really don't feel like stripping it down. That's going to do it, though, for the live stream. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me for a couple of hours. I think we had a little bit of fun, right? And tell me what you think about the 8 p.m. stuff versus the 5 or 6 p.m. And make sure that you like the video if you don't mind. That kind of helps the algorithm out when I get the likes, you know. But it kind of helps the algorithm, so make sure you do that. And with that, I'm done. I'm tired, so I will catch you guys Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so regular uploaded videos. And then Thursday night, we're going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time and do our live stream videos. So thank you once again for tuning in. It's been another great, fun live stream with you guys. Next week, we're going to move on to something better. I'm going to try to get the Cat 6 cable ran to the shop because I got a project out there that I want you guys to see, and we'll work on it out in the shop on a live stream. But that's going to do it. Start at 7. It might help the schedule. All right, we'll try that. We'll go either 7 or 8 next week. We'll see how that works out. We'll either go 7 or 8. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll check that next week. It's been a fun one, though. I appreciate everything from you guys. That's a lot of help. The CPU-Z was a great idea tonight. I didn't even think of that because it shows what speed the graphics card's running in, and it'll show everything on the board there. You guys can see the chat on the screen there too, like I can, because I shut off my phone. My battery's got 5%, and as soon as my wife calls, it's going to die. That's going to do it, though, for the stream tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you give it a like. You can always comment on these things afterwards, too, if you didn't get a chance to get into the live chat. Chris, Panther, who all we have in here tonight? Craig, I know you've been in here for a while. Alex has been in here. We've had quite a few. Travis, he was in here earlier. I don't know if he still is or not. So most of the early comments, Controlled Chaos was in here. He still might be hanging around too. Some of the guys might be hanging around. But thank you guys. Have a great night. And make sure you check out Tuesday night's video. The past Tuesday if you haven't already. And then next Thursday, we'll get another good live stream going for you guys. But have a good night. Be safe. Have a great weekend, actually, and be safe out there.